All right, so this is my second attempt. I'm really hoping that the audio is better now. Hopefully, you can hear me this time. Can you guys hear me this time? Denver, can you hear me? Tell me yes, please. Please, Lord. Yeah? All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I have people messaging me like, was your live stream 4 minutes? Give me a second. You can hear me for sure, right? We're good? I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay, cool, cool. So, this is my second attempt tonight at getting this live stream going. It is good to hear from you guys. It's good to see some names. Just want to say hello. I have a few things to kind of update you all on. Business is running, man. It's running. It's good. It's been a interesting summer, and that's probably something I'm going to talk about later on. Denver, how are you? That's the most important question. Now I can hear you guys. Good. Nice to see you. Beats by Devon. Tristan, love you. No, I love you. Okay, so I just want to get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way, and then I'm going to take all the questions that you guys have. A couple of heads up. First heads up is we got a video coming out tonight right after the live stream at 8:15. Okay, so it's a brand new video, and the topic is on plumbing and AI. I did an experiment on the video, which was kind of shocking to me, and I think will be potentially shocking to you unless you all are already, maybe you already know the information. But anyways, it's just my kind of take on where the future is going with the technology and where plumbing might end up. It's just an entire guess, but a couple of interesting things. So keep up to date with that. Uh, Fourth year plumbing apprentice waiting for intermediate school, Denver. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, Algonquin College. All right, these comments are like capturing me. Give me a sec. I want to say a couple of things just for the video's sake. Number one, if you aren't on the newsletter, definitely get on the newsletter. That way you know when lives are coming out, when new content on the channel is coming out, and when new content in the academy is coming out. The academy is being built up quite a bit over the next few months. I spent a lot of this summer recording a bunch of courses, and a bunch of them are free. So let me tell you those really quickly. If you're trying to get an apprenticeship, a lot of you are building resumes that are trade specific. I have a plumbing resume course on the academy. Links down below. Go straight there. It's absolutely free. Pick it up. You get the template. You watch me walk through mine, that sort of thing. So keep your eyes open for that. I have a plumbing math fundamentals course, which I finished editing, but I'm compiling right now. So if you struggle with math, this is going to be a free math course that takes you through the fundamentals, which is a good startup before you get to the plumbing math course, which is a paid course on the academy. And I'm also going to have a tools course coming out as well. That's going to be free. So that's that. And then, yeah, that's it, man. Good to see you. Level 2, Keep Fit 49. I appreciate you coming back on. Denver. We got Denver. We got Beats by Devon. Tristan. We got Level 2, Keep Fit 49. Thank you for coming back. What about a drafting course? Devon, I think that's a great idea. And that's something that somebody has asked about previously as well. Sorry. So, Devon, are you talking about a drafting course like creating isometric drawings, or are you talking about reading blueprints? Somebody else reached out and talked about reading blueprints, and that's a clever idea as well. That might be something I jump on as well. But I actually have a pretty big plan for the month of September. I'm hoping to do these lives once a week, every Saturday around this time, essentially. And the whole purpose behind that is I'm hoping to kind of dive into plumbing theory and just plumbing questions in general. I just kind of want to sit down and do some tutoring, essentially, for the channel. I want to give you a bunch of different content, give you the option of choosing the content. Like we could do a tape measure math course, like a small little thing that I do one of these weekends. I could do a sizing lesson. I could do a venting lesson, a fractions lesson, and I want to open the floor to all of you. You can tell me what you're interested in, and I could sit down, create content for that live, and we'll just do it together. And that's my hope. And that's to kind of draw you guys in, to let you understand this is the kind of stuff we have on the academy. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to benefit from going there as well. So what do we got here? So Devon, you're in advanced plumbing right now at Algonquin College. And Denver, you're a fourth year plumbing apprentice waiting for intermediate. Okay, so that's exciting. So you're talking about, what about a drafting course and isometric you want to learn? And both. So you want to learn how to read blueprints as well, right? How to scale prints and relate to job site. Okay, that's cool. Cool. Circuit venting for sure. And how are you finding the job market for first year newbies? I'm in Niagara and it's dead. So actually, I got another video coming out next week, level 2 Keep Fit 49. And that video is talking about specifically first year apprentices. So level 2, I'm just going to call you level 2. You ought to know that it is typical for first year apprentices to have a hard time getting into the trade. And there's a couple of really obvious symptoms that make it that way. One being, first year apprentices are typically green, and that's really hard for plumbing companies to kind of commit to. So you have to make sure, level 2, that when you are trying to get into the job market, you are trying to definitely show the plumbing companies that you are the right character for the job, because that is really what you're bringing to the table as a first year. You're bringing in character and drive and that sort of thing. And if you are lacking in that, it's very easy to let apprentices go. So it's hard to get in as a first year, but you got to keep your head in the game. Level 2, if you don't have our plumbing resume course, go check that out. Maybe that'll help you kind of tweak the resume you currently have and make it more plumbing specific or trade specific. So check that out as well. So we got a lot of really cool ideas. So isometric drawings, how to scale prints and relate to a job site. So basically, Devon, you're talking about going from, you're on a blueprint, and then how do you translate that onto a job site? So how do you take out a tape measure and then find the actual point that you're trying to get to, sort of thing? That makes sense. Circuit venting. Okay, so we can do that. Any other suggestions in regards to what you guys might want to see if we're going to do a once a week lesson? I'm glad you guys can hear me now. That is really important. So yeah, that's the game plan going forward. I hope to kind of sit down and do this live thing once a week with you guys. And what do you guys think about the AI conversation? Are you guys concerned for AI? Definitely how to read blueprints. Okay, Jason. Nice to see you, Jason. Appreciate you giving me some input. Reading blueprints is a big one. Maybe that's going to be our first one. So let me jot that down. And maybe I have to do a formal video on that as well, because it seems like a lot of people are struggling with that, reading blueprints. For sure, for sure. Jason, where are you at in your apprenticeship? What are you doing? What are you up to? What kind of plumbing do you do? What kind of plumbing do all of you do? Okay, cool. Yeah, like on a set of plans, like when you did the video about sides and horizontal drainage, you had a set of plans on the wall wondering how you and your dad took the scale of the drawing. Okay, yeah, perfect. So that's a really, really interesting concept. I could definitely go into that. But just to tell you kind of verbally, you are told the scale right there and on the blueprint, and then the blueprint is translated to your tape measure. So the scale will say 1 foot is 4 inches, sort of thing, or 4 inches is 1 foot, or 1 inch equals 1 foot. And from that scale, you can translate it. But I can do a formal video on that, showing you all how to kind of go from that right onto a job site and start finding and pinpointing exact spots where drains have to show up, sort of thing. Going to start looking in the new year, looking to get into either service or commercial. Sweet, sweet, Jason. So yeah, there's also commercial service. That's also another thing as well. So yeah, somebody asked how summer's been. This has been a really interesting summer in regards to work. I have found it that, you have 1 week, which was kind of on the quiet side, and then all of a sudden the following week it just got crazy, and it was like one of those things where Monday comes around and it was really quiet, and then come 11 o'clock Monday morning people start calling, and the rest of your week is just jammed. So it's been a really interesting year. I found that last summer there was a moment where it was like the floodgates open and we were busy for a while. This one was like there was this back and forth about it sort of thing. So Beats by Devon. Figured out the distance from the wall for the water closets and lab wet vent, and where you figured out the floor drain. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely. We'll talk about scales on a blueprint, how to translate that to your tape measure, because that's typically how it's done. You'll have your tape measure right there. It'll tell you the scale, and then how to figure out the distances. I know that it has taken me quite a while to orient myself. And what I find is there's an orientation kind of period when you get onto a job site with blueprints. It's kind of like you sit there and you wrestle with the blueprint for a few minutes. You know what I mean? You look at it, find out the scale, and then you start looking at pretty major landmarks like where certain walls are and where certain walls you can already see, and then going from there and starting to measure off of it. It's also a red seal question, Devon says. What is a red seal question? How to go from a blueprint to to on the site? So another thing that I ought to tell you guys is that red seal conversations have been quite rampant around these here times. Nate, what's happening? I graduated college, was pushed to do it by my parents. I want to be a plumber. I have my union interview next month. Nice. But if that doesn't work out, should I just call shops for helper positions in SD? Uh, Listen, dude, I think so. I think so. I think you should go for the union interview, but I wouldn't stop you. Like, I would start looking at positions even now, just in case that interview doesn't go well. The thing about union interviews, from what I understand, is sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you to get your second call. So, in the meantime, why don't you just create a plumbing resume? Once again, I'm going to plug this once again. So we have a plumbing resume course on the Academy. It's free. Check that out if you need that. And I would just pump out resumes right now as well, Nate. So that way you kind of are having the ball roll even if the union doesn't work out for you, sort of thing, you know? That way you have potentially other options going into that as well. So yeah, Red Seal prep there's been a lot of conversations around it in regards to, my academy. We're thinking about doing a Red Seal prep. And also I've been reached out by a couple of other companies that are looking to get Red Seal preparation as well, because it just seems to be something that people are particularly struggling with right now. I don't know if the interesting part is the apprentices that are writing the Red Seal right now, they also went through COVID, and COVID was very difficult on all education systems, including plumbing. So I have a friend who's written quite a few times, and the problem that they're dealing with is that when they went into their advanced plumbing, they were doing this hybrid system where it was online for the theory, and then you would go to class, you'd be masked up, and in class would be just the hands-on section, essentially. But it's very hard to ask questions in a virtual setting unless your teacher is very open to that. So, and I think if you guys have gone through that, you understand what I'm saying. So I think there might have been a little bit of difficulty getting the content out, and you don't even know your peers because they're all online, sort of thing. So anyways, it's really interesting. A lot of people are talking about Red Seal prep, and a lot of people are having a hard time. So just a heads up to you, Canadian plumbers out there, it is a thing, and I think the market is adjusting to try to help you guys get licensed. So what do we got here? Example, a scale of 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. What is the measurement on a tape measure for a length of pipe that is 20 feet, 9 and 5/8 inch? So those are a couple of different questions, but they're all math related. So for example, I would love to do this. You know what? Let me write this down. Maybe what we should do is talk tape measure math first of all next week, sorry, and then we can get into how to go from a scale onto a job site, and I'll even write that down too. So it's a good question. What is the measurement on a tape measure for a length of pipe that is 20 feet and 9 inch 5/8 inches? Okay, so you have to know how to convert from feet to inches. And then you got to add all those inches together at the end. So that's a great question. I will, got it, thanks. On paternity leave right now at my current job, I will start looking for sure. I appreciate and all the videos you have. They help a ton. Nate, thank you. I appreciate that they help out. That's the whole point. Um, so that, yeah, Devon, I've seen Red Seal questions like that before for sure, especially the conversion from feet to inches. That's a big deal, not only on Red Seal, but also in your leveled schooling. So we can definitely get into that next week. And maybe that's going to be our lesson. We'll talk about a tape measure, what it looks like, why we go in the increments that we go in, and then going from a scale, a 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, and how to find that out. And then I could even tackle a couple of math questions like that, how to convert 20 feet 9 5/8 inches, how to convert that just into feet, and how to convert that into inches, and then how to find it in feet and inches like the way it is there. That would be a cool lesson. So Devon, if you're cool, yeah, we'll definitely get into that. That's a great lesson. So Devon, just a question for you. I think you said you are in advanced. Is that right? Let me double check. You're in advanced. Okay. So if you're in advanced, are you already tackling Red Seal questions because you're? Oh, okay. Okay. So are you already tackling Red Seal questions? Whoa, hold on. You're in advance right now. Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So Devon, are you writing in your final week? That's how it typically is now, from what I understand. That's a big difference between my apprenticeship and what's happening now as well. There's a 9th week, from what I understand, and in that 9th week, apprentices write at their school. My teacher is pointing out Red Seal questions from the workbook. Okay, cool, man. And Devon, are you writing in your 9th week? Is that correct? Because that's very different. So when we finished our intermediate plumbing, I'm sorry, our advanced plumbing, we had to then call the ministry. We had to book an appointment for the final CFQ. We had to pay our money, that sort of thing. This is all happening in school right now, which is much different from what we were doing back then. But that's great. 20 feet, 9 5/8 inches. What does that look like on a tape measure? What is the measurement? Is the measurement on a tape measure? Sure. Measure for length of pipe. Pipe that is 20 feet, 9 5/8 inches. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's 9 weeks, but the Red Seal's on the computer now. Teacher's not sure what's going on yet, but there is a Red Seal prep week. Yes, okay, cool. So we had a Red Seal prep course that was attached to our advanced plumbing. And this was every Friday we had a test, and right after the test we would do an hour for Red Seal prep sort of thing. But we didn't have this. We didn't have a 9th week. And we weren't able to write just in the classroom like this. And apparently now it's online as well. I have actually talked to another apprentice that had to go through the online version of the test, and that was stressful for them as well. So a lot of things are changing. Also, the Red Seal exam has changed quite a bit. It's not the exam that it was a year ago. It is updated, and it is also, from what I understand, it gets updated every so often as well. So have you heard from their plumbers or own experience how busy it is with work with the economy slowing down? My wife is kind of worried about me switching careers right now. So, Jason, at the moment, it seems to be quiet in the sense that I don't think it was as busy, at least for me, it wasn't as busy as it was last summer. And it's been a really strange year, I would say. And it felt like a lot of people were holding on to their money a little bit tighter. And this is just a guess. When Trump started talking about tariffs, I found that that's when it kind of slowed down. So I don't know if I'm associating something that isn't correlated with one another or if it is, sort of thing. Because I remember when tariffs were the conversation, it just felt like everything kind of stopped in its tracks. And then at some point, especially in the plumbing field, and I find all trades field, they are so crucial to our infrastructure that at some point people have to start calling and the floodgates open. So I'm under the impression that adjustment has changed. And I think the tariff deals are taking place as we speak, sort of thing. So I think the initial scare might be a little bit better than it was before. Uh, the truth is, Jason, I think trades are always going to be in demand. So even if you were to switch over right now, I could appreciate that your wife is worried about the timing of it, and maybe that's a conversation you need to have. But remember, trades are in demand. So even if it's small like right now, it's still a trajectory. If you have the right personality for it and you're willing to stick it out, it's a trajectory that I think is pretty solid going forward. So that's my 2 cents on it. Ask me more detailed questions if you want, and if maybe I didn't touch upon what you wanted to, sort of thing. Uh, so ever since April 2nd, when it's been switched to Skilled Trades Ontario, it's a headache. Yeah, it's been Skilled Trades Ontario took over the test, I guess. I'm not sure, man. Skilled Trades Ontario is a nightmare. Alex Petit. What's happening, Alex? Appreciate you coming in. We got Gran. Allow me to tell you congratulations on the 13K subscribers. Good luck with 100K. I appreciate that, Grain. Ahmed. Thank you. That's good. Thanks. Okay, Jason, I hope I answered that question for you. So, um, for those of you that haven't heard, that are just joining us now, I was letting everybody know that I'm planning to do lives once a week, and I'm going to basically be doing lessons once a week, and they're going to all be related to plumbing. And next week, we have decided a lot of Devin's kind of suggestions. We're going to do a math kind of element where we talk about tape measure math, and then we work on converting from feet to inches. We work with fractions, that sort of thing. And he gave me a specific question that we'll be able to chase down and work on as well. So that's what's going to happen next week. Okay. So yeah, Skilled Trades Ontario they're figuring stuff out. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be an adjustment period, but they're getting that done. So Devon is saying they took over from the ministry. Everything with apprenticeships is with Skilled Trades Ontario, not the ministry. Well, I got to be honest. I always thought Skilled Trades Ontario was the ministry, if I'm not making a mistake. I hope I'm not being ignorant there. I thought they were one and the same. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Let me look that up, actually. I don't know if that's going to screw up my camera. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you hit that thumbs up button if you're here with us? It really helps this video get pumped out so other people. Two different things. There you go. There's something that I gotta read up on. But yeah, I think going over to computing the final exam has been quite difficult. Like I said, I had an apprentice I was working with, and I think he was one of the first rounds of apprentices that had to do that. So it's been difficult, man. It's been difficult. So do you think that you guys are going to do better because it's going to be on a computer, or how do you guys feel? Is that an uncomfortable? Thumbs up, peeps. Appreciate that. We got 4 thumbs. Yeah, hit it up. Hit it up. Hit it up. Are you guys uncomfortable by the idea that it's going to be on computer, or is that going to be something you're good with? Because some people like the computer screen, some people hate it, I find. So I know you guys are already doing this, but if you have any other questions that you want me to kind of tackle for you, please feel free to ask them. Another idea, Kenny, is elevation, inverts, and foresights, backsights. Surveying from intermediate. I haven't touched surveying for a while. So it would be something that I have to look into, but I could definitely take a look at that. Another idea for you guys is if there are any videos you want to see, like we've talked about blueprint reading, if there are any other videos you want to see to come out on the channel, like do you want it to be specifically tools? Do you want it to be specifically theory, that sort of thing? Are you interested in videos like that? If there's any video that's really been kind of, you wish it existed, let me know, and I'll be able to potentially tackle that as well. So Alex is a second-year apprentice and switched employers over 3 months ago and still waiting for them to switch it in my profile. Yes, unfortunately, that is something that might be common. So in other words, it takes some time for switches to take place, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. So it might be worth it calling your ministry rep and just finding out when they're able to do that, Alex, because that is one person that you might be able to rely upon to get that done, okay? And are you guys interested in a Red Seal week? So we sit down with Red Seal questions and we look at what was happening in the past with the Red Seal and tackle some of those questions. Like, where are you guys with that? All right. So Denver, I think, Devin, you're saying yes to the Red Seal week, right? Cool. So Denver, is there any Devin? I'm sorry, I keep saying Denver. Um, Devin, are there any other Red Seal questions that you are particularly struggling with? How do you feel about hydronic heating? Is that something that you guys have tackled in class quite a bit? Because that is one thing that in Ontario I find a lot of apprentices have difficulty with. The hydronic heating questions, because we don't typically do heating unless you come from a company that has a heating element as well, heating portion to it as well. A lot of companies that do plumbing are not mechanical, or sorry, not heating. They end up doing just the plumbing side of things, sort of thing. So that is another thing I've noticed over the years. Nate, congratulations on being a father, by the way. Paternity leave right now. Congratulations on that. That's a big deal. My drafting drawing right now is a hydronic heating one. Not a fan, to be honest. Interesting. Okay. I didn't realize that they did hydronic heating drafting in trade school. That's a really clever way to force the content or push the student to engage with the content of hydronics. That's really interesting. You said you're at Algonquin College, right, Devin? Right, Algonquin College. Cool, man. In Ottawa. Good luck, man. Where are you at? Once becoming a journey person, how often are you upgrading your skills, Kenny, with new tech? So level 2 keep fit 49. With new tech, I mean it really depends on where you're going with the plumbing. So for example, um, I do backflow as well. So it's something that I've also gotten a contract in backflow, meaning there's a building that I do backflow for. So it has pushed me to continue to upgrade my skills and to also to renew my backflow license. So that's one thing for sure that has made me upgrade my skills. And it comes down to you, and especially if your company is willing to send you out to learn things and to like pay for the courses for upgrading, that's really useful as well. And it depends on which way your company is going, sort of thing. So um, that is really an independent question, level 2. That's something that every single person is going to have to struggle with themselves. Are they going to stay with the skills that they have, or are they going to upgrade their skills and learn something else like hydronic heating or etc.? You know what I mean? So Devin, I know there's AC questions like what brazing rod to use, stuff like that on the Red Seal. Yes, that's typical of the Red Seal questions that I had to encounter as well. And Devin goes, yes, Algonquin College in Ottawa. Got in last minute. Nice. Backflow is good money. Backflow is it good money? I would say it is good money, but there's a little bit of headache around it. I mean, maybe I'm just complaining a little bit. The recertification is not cheap, like it's a pretty big thing. And every single year, the biggest headache is you have to get your tester recalibrated, which means you got to run out, spend some money, and hopefully you're doing enough backflow tests where even though you've spent money on the recalibration, it covers it. But once you have enough backflow tests that it covers it, it's pretty good money. You go in, you spend about 15 minutes, everything works out, or you run into a situation where you realize you're going to have to do a repair, and that repair is a must have. So in other words, you turn to the customer, you go, this failed. they don't really have a choice. They have to get that repaired. So in a sense, it's good money because it pushes everybody to do work. You know what I'm saying? So yes, definitely. Do I have a gas ticket and is it worth getting? So I do not have a gas ticket. Gas in Ontario is a separate trade. Is it worth it? It depends. If you can find a lot of work for gas, then it's definitely worth it. If you do a lot of hot water tanks and you got to hook up gas, then it's worth it. But remember, Alex, there are companies out there that don't do any gas, that are just plumbing companies, and they're busy. And then there are companies that just do gas, they don't do any plumbing, and they're busy. So it's worth it depending on where your company kind of takes you, sort of thing. Devin, safety question for the Red Seal is another one. Everything from ladder safety, first aid, what to do when someone is injured, fire extinguishers. Yes, that is typical. They ask you about the different classes of fire extinguishers. They ask you about ladder safety. You got to know the ratio. Is it 4-to-1? I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio from the wall. For every 4 feet up, you got to go 1 foot out, and you have to have 3-point contact at all time. Michelle, what's happening? Septic tanks, grease interceptors, and oil interceptors. Yep, that's going to be on it as well. 4-to-1 ratio. Yeah, Devin is verifying what I'm saying. So yeah, it's there's a lot of really interesting questions that happen on the CFQ that you might not get in your career at all. I remember studying for the CFQ and doing medical gas, and there was one time where I was at the hospital when all of a sudden I saw one of the boxes basically where the medical gas valves were, and one was shut and the door was open, and I went, oh, I know what this is. This is really cool. Air gaps and air brakes. Yep. Gaps. Okay, so how I've been taught gaps and breaks is gaps is for good, G is for good, breaks is for bad. So good water, which means potable water. B is for bad, so that's bad water, so it's sanitary water. So just a heads up. Corey, what's happening, brother? Thank you for showing up. I appreciate both of you. We are doing a quick little Q&A. So if you have any questions plumbing-wise, Corey, shoot me up or hit me up with that. Acid waste. Yeah, there's acid waste questions as well. Yeah, so question for level 2. If you're still here, level 2, what kind of plumbing are you doing right now? Just curious about more about what you're up to. So Alex as well, Alex Petit. Hope that's how you say your name. What kind of plumbing are you doing in this new company? Level 2 said yes. I don't know what you said yes to. I appreciate that though. Okay. I know most of you have been on for this entire time, but just to kind of remind the people that are just showing up, we are going to be doing a once a week live every Saturday, same time, 7 p.m. with my microphone on this time. And what we're going to be doing is lessons, okay? And next week's lesson is going to be on tape measure math. And then we're going to transition into finding scales on a blueprint. And then from that, we're going to tackle one of the questions Devin gave us, which is, what is the measurement on a tape measure for a length of pipe that is 20 feet, 9 5/8 inches? So what would we look at on a tape measure and what will we find? I'm here, general personal plumbing. Retired, actually. Nice, level 2. Awesome. Congratulations on your retirement. I hope you're relaxing, and we appreciate you building the economy for us. A pipe has a slope of 1.47 inches. What would that be equivalent to? Ah, nice. That's a good question. 1.47%, sorry. So you want to know how to find from percents, how do you find slope? That's always been a pain in the neck. But yeah, we could definitely go into that. We could definitely percent slope. Yeah, dude, I got to brush up on that too. I remember every single time I get that question from an apprentice, it's like I got to wrap my head around it again because I haven't done it in such a long time. Like meaning going from a percentage to an actual fraction. That's like, oh, how do we do that again? So yeah, I'm gonna brush up on that. Don't you worry. Don't you guys worry. So yeah. Hit me up with any questions you guys have, please. Any other questions? You can even ask me theory-related questions, installation-related questions, career questions, schooling questions, whatever it is. I can send you a picture from where this is coming from. Devin, absolutely. If you got my email, it should be on my YouTube channel. Have you ever heard of companies not hiring based on age, mid-40s and older? And a little bit of everything, mostly service, but we do some renos and new builds as well. Not a lot of commercial. Okay, so Jason, have I heard of companies not hiring based on age? The truth is, I haven't heard about companies I haven't heard companies not hiring based on age. I find that, let me just tell you my personal take on it. When I meet somebody that's a little bit older and I know that they have much more responsibility on their hands, for example, let's say they have a family that they're feeding, I kind of gravitate towards the idea that this is a candidate I am almost guaranteed is going to be responsible. So is going to be responsible. I hope I pronounced that correctly, not irresponsible. So I assume automatically that they're going to be a responsible candidate because of that. So in my opinion, it might actually work in your favor. And that's something that I would go into the interview with and just remind them, like, listen, I got mortgage payments, I got this and that. So like you're very serious about being there. So I haven't heard about that, Jason. I think you're good to go. But you got to commit, obviously, and keep us posted. Let us know how you do. So Alex says a little bit of everything. Your company does a little bit of everything, mostly service, but we do some renos and new builds as well. Not a lot of commercial. I am similarly to you in the same boat. That's basically what my company does. I do a lot of residential, and then once in a while I do a reno, a new build, that sort of thing. Commercial, in regards to me, there are some customers I have that are only commercial, and I've done quite a bit of that in the past 6 months or 7 months, which was good. And yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see where the plumbing company goes. It's really interesting watching my plumbing company move and try to juggle my plumbing company with this and my plumbing academy. It's if if it let's just say it's the most challenging things, one of the most challenging things I've ever done, which also is being a parent at the same time. So a lot going on. I sent you a picture on Instagram, if that's okay. Where is the building control valve located? Okay, let me see if I can just hop on here real quick. Cool. Cool. Let me see. Okay, we got a couple of questions. That's good. Yeah, that's another idea. You guys can send me questions also via email, or you can go onto my Instagram and send them there as well. Okay. So, real quick question. Since we're all talking, by the way, I have a video coming out at 8:15 p.m. tonight. So, as soon as I'm done this live, you got time to go to the washroom, grab some popcorn, and watch the video. The video is about plumbing and AI. Okay. So, do me a favor. Definitely commit to that video. Because I tried something by myself about a couple of weeks ago, and it came down to AI, and I was shocked at the result. And I wanted to have that conversation, and I want to know what plumbers thought. Do you guys think AI is going to be implemented into our field? Will it potentially take over the field? Are we going to be competing with AI in the future? That's a question that I was confronted with after this experiment. Not to give it all away, but just wanted to put that out there. Go for it, Corey. I have a question. I have a client with their main stack, which is 3 inches. The current load feeding, this is 22.5 fixture units, and they want to add a lot more to this load because they want to do an addition. Okay. Guess what, Corey? I got my juicy plumbing code book. Shout out to Blundell. Blundell is the creator of this version of the code book. So a 3-inch stack is, okay, so remember, a 3-inch stack takes a certain amount of load, and then a 4-inch horizontal, because a main stack goes minimum 3-inch to open air, and then 4-inch horizontal to the sewer, minimum. It can be bigger than that if you wanted it to. but at minimum, it's 3-inch to open air. So let me tell you right now, let me find the right chart, and I'll tell you exactly how many fixture units you're allowed on a 4-inch horizontal sanitary. So 7, 4, 10, 8, a 4-inch horizontal sanitary drainage pipe, and it depends on the slope. A 1% slope gives you 180 fixture units. A 2% slope gives you 240 fixture units, and a 4% slope which is a 1/2 inch per foot, 300 fixture units. So that's quite a bit on the horizontal. But let's go to vertical because we got hydraulic. So 7, 4, 10, 6, maximum permitted hydraulic load drain to a soil or waste stack. Maximum hydraulic load drain to a soil or waste stack. Okay, at 3-inch, a maximum load of 102 fixture units. Hydraulic load drain to a soil or waste stack. Okay, so 3-inch gives you 102 fixture units overall, but you are allowed a maximum of 18 fixture units on every story. That's one thing you got to keep in mind. So if you have 19 fixture units on one story, you're not allowed to do that. You got to upsize that pipe, or you got to get rid of a fixture somehow. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. And what's crazy is, I don't want to convolute it, but that's the answer to you. Corey, you would have to find out how many fixtures are on it, first of all, to begin with, and then how many fixtures they're planning to add. And then you got to go into the code book, and we got to figure out what the hydraulic load of each of those fixtures is, combine it all, make sure that you don't have more than 18 fixture units on any one story. And from there, we can figure out if you are allowed to run basically those fixtures. Okay. What is the minimum size of a water meter bypass? Red Seal. Right. So sizing domestic water is a very big topic on the Red Seal, and that is something that you would have to tackle. And it would come down to those charts. Remember the charts that were talking about small? It was a residential one, a small commercial, and that sort of thing. So a couple of options there. You guys don't want to talk about AI, eh? Nobody's interested in that topic? You're bored about this? You're killing me, fam. What do you guys think, man? Do you think AI is going to be an issue? Man, when you watch the video, I think it's going to make more sense, but maybe my concern is going to make more sense. Maybe that's what I should say. All right. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what's up. Sorry, I'm just messing about. We're doing chats here. All right. I feel like AI is great for entrepreneurs running a plumbing business. It definitely is, and a lot of companies are now implementing AI into that, Alex. So, for example, I am a Jobber ambassador. You're going to see more Jobber content over the next couple of weeks. And Jobber is implementing AI into the app now, which is really cool. So Corey says, I think it could help us. One of the apps I use for invoicing has an AI option. It helps with the platform. Yeah, Corey, exactly. So a lot of invoicing apps and that sort of thing are now moving towards adding AI features to it. Peeps, do me a favor. Can you hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, just so that this video can get pushed out a little bit better? I would really appreciate that. Can we go to a number 6? I'm watching the thumbs up right now. Come on. Yeah, we got 6. Can we go to 7? Can somebody get me a 7? There are 13 of us in here. Come on. We could do it. Can I hit the thumbs up button? Can we get to a 7? Come on, let's get to a 7. I will stop talking about it when we... okay, we're good. I'll stop talking. I appreciate that. Alex says, personal, no, AI might be more of a saver than a job doomer. Just a personal opinion. So, Grain, hi, Mark. What's going on, fam? You can ask us any questions you want. We are just on the topic of AI because my video coming out at 8:15 tonight is going to be about AI. So That's just something to bring up. And you can ask me anything plumbing related. That's what we're doing. So Grain, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly. Grain Ahmed, why do you think it's more of a saver than a doomer? We're at 9 thumbs up. I really appreciate that, peeps. Can we get to 10? Oh, we hit 10. I appreciate that. All right, cool. So yeah, so my video coming out this week is about AI, which is going to be coming out right after this. And man, I want to bring it up, but I don't want to spoil it. I ended up playing around with ChatGPT and asking it some questions about the Ontario Plumbing Codebook, and it had some really interesting responses. So I wanted to just kind of bring that up to you guys, let you know that that conversation is happening. I appreciate that, Devin. Another thing is, if you guys have any videos that you're interested in seeing on Plumbing with Kenny Molotov, do me a favor, write them down below, write them in the chat, and that is something I'm going to write a list of. And if we get enough hits on that, I will definitely be making those as well. So a couple of things that for our new people out there right now, we are planning to do lives every Saturday going forward in September. I'm going to be doing basically lessons. And next week lesson is going to be on fractions. It's going to be on tape measure math. And we're going to start going from a blueprint to a job site, which has to do with using your tape measure as well, that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that. If you're interested in learning more of that, next week, okay, next week. And join the newsletter so that you know when that is happening. Yeah, Corey, we got math happening next week, broski. Get ready. Hope you're not sweating. Corey and I have worked on math together. So it's something that traumatized us both to the bones, and we're still going to manage, right? We're good. We could do it. More pictures. Oh, so Devin, is there a way you can show us a blueprint you used in the past from an older video? I'm going to see if I have blueprints laying around. No problem, Corey. Yeah. Also, what you guys can do, if you have blueprints that you're trying to understand, you can send those over to me as well. Just block out all the important information on it, send it my way, and I could even use that as an example if you're open to it, if I have permission for it, and I'll be able to kind of break down the way I would work this blueprint out on a job site. Blueprint reading is one of those things that gets easier with the more reps that you have. So, full disclosure, I don't work with blueprints very often. Whenever I do work with a blueprint, I have to sit down with it and orient myself with it. I have to first figure out which direction am I supposed to be looking at this thing. Then I figure out the scale. I look for major landmarks, so major places where I can actually start measuring off of. And that's how I work with blueprints. And that's something I would have to show you guys as well. So that's going to be on the radar for sure. Okay. So we got about 8 minutes left. We'll be ending this beast at 8 o'clock. Okay. So if you have any other questions, please put them down in the comments or in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer those as quickly as possible. And you could ask me anything: plumbing theory, plumbing installation, plumbing career, plumbing schooling. And if you have any ideas for any plumbing videos you guys want to see. So another question is, are you guys more interested in the vlog side of things? Or are you interested in videos where I do talking head videos where I kind of dissect subjects like today's AI video? How to determine the symbol like orthographic view, plan view, isometric view of a 90, T, ball valve, hot water tank, etc. So Devin, you're interested in both types of videos. How to determine the symbols like orthographic view, plan view, isometric view of a 90T. Interesting. Devin, I don't know if I've been encountered with this question before, or it's been worded differently. So I got to look into that. That's an interesting question. Mark, are you still there? What kind of plumbing do you do? What video brought you to this channel? I can send you a picture of what I mean. Go for it. Go for it. So once again, we got about 7 minutes left. Go ahead, hit me up with any questions that you guys have. It could be related to anything plumbing wise, plumbing career-wise. And just a heads up, as we move forward into these following weeks, the code books that I'm going to be relying on are the Ontario Plumbing Code Book, which is this beast right here, and the National Code, which I have in a binder form right here. Devin, actually, I have a question for you. Are you running with the National Plumbing Code when you go to school, or are they still running Ontario Plumbing Code at Algonquin College right now? The reason why I ask, for those of you that don't know, we adopted in Ontario the National Plumbing Code Book. And I'm under the impression that the entire nation wants to run with the National Code Book, make it one code basically. But we've been studying the Ontario Plumbing Code Book for a very long time. So I don't know if they've done a full transition or not yet. So Devin, tell me, let me know, what are you guys running with? I know a year or so ago they had done they had done that transition, but I don't think they fully transitioned in the schools yet. So we got 11 people here. Right now, it's the 3rd edition of the Ontario Plumbing Code Book that has both National Plumbing Code references and Ontario. Let me write that down. So Corey, you were using the Ontario code at Conestoga. Okay, cool. So Devin, let me write that down. That's good information. 3rd edition. 3rd edition of Ontario also has national. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to pick that up. That way I don't have to have 2 binders. So Devin goes 2020 edition on the cover. And is that by Blundell as well? Do you have Blundell's version or something else? Ontario Code Book at Fan Shaway as well. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Alex. Yeah, so it seems like the transition hasn't fully taken place inside the classroom yet, but it's something nice. Okay, so Blundell has already hopped on this train. Okay, good. Good, good. That's really good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Cool, man. That's really good to know. I'm going to have to pick up that code book. So anybody else, are you guys a fan of the vlogs, or are you more interested in the sit-down sessions, or both? I know Devin's opinion, but anybody else, go ahead, hit me up. And also, we have 4 minutes left, okay? So I'm going to be signing off in about 4 minutes. And one more time, I know I'm a broken record right now, but we are going to be going live every Saturday in September. I'm committing to that. And next week, we're going to be doing a lesson. We're going to be doing lessons every week, but next week, we're going to be talking about tape measure math, and we're going to be running through a question that converts between feet and inches and that sort of thing. Okay, so both from Corey. Thank you. So yeah, and we're also going to be talking about blueprints next week as well. We're going to be talking about at least the scale concept of it and how to go from a scale that's on a blueprint and how to translate that into a job site. Okay, 3 minutes left. Hit me up with some questions. And once again, don't forget, there's a video coming out in about 15 minutes, okay? 15 minutes, you guys are going to get a juicy conversation about AI and what I discovered about it and whether or not you think, and I'm curious to know whether or not you guys think it's going to be something that we should be concerned about, sort of thing, okay? So a couple of things on my end. I was doing some research basically about how to conduct our, how to conduct our lessons online. And I might be actually going live next week through Zoom. That way I could show you videos, and I could also, that way I can show you drawings, and that way I could show you PowerPoints if I need to as well. So that's something I just want you guys to keep in mind. It might be a little bit of a different format, but should be pretty cool. Any other questions, peeps? 2 more minutes. All right. Water pipe sizing. All right, do you have a, okay, so you're talking about domestic water, right, Devin? Yeah, water pipe sizing is, it's work. It's definitely work. Yeah, we could definitely jump into that at some point. So, Devin, when are you writing? What week are you on right now, let's say? Interpolation for sewage ejectors, electors, converting fixture units to liters. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Week 3 on Monday. Good luck, broski. Good luck. You got this. And do you do tests every Friday? Sewage ejectors. Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly the questions you're talking about. I know exactly where to look it up in the code book as well. I've got ABS glue on this shirt. Just a heads up. That's how you know I'm legit. Yeah, good luck, Devin. Do you learn water sizing in intermediate, in beginning school? It was all DWV. So, Alex, the way it was run when I was in my apprenticeship was that we learned water sizing for domestic water in advance, and that correlated with the CFQ as well, because that's where you see most of it. But advanced was when I learned it. But that's a good question for Devin. Devin, did you learn that in advanced right now, or did you learn that in intermediate? Because I'm not sure if the curriculum has changed a bit. Yes, but this Friday is basically 2 weeks worth of theory on test number 2. Yes, but this Friday is basically, oh, well, you didn't do a test last week. Is that why? So, peeps, I'm actually going to stay on for 4 more minutes just because I want to make sure the live is 1 hour. My first week, we did a review from level 2 and some from level 1. Okay, gotcha. But also a big difference between what Devin's doing in my apprenticeship was we didn't have a 9th week. Yeah, we just went over wells. Wells, yeah. Wells is a big deal. What's really interesting is that you'll also go over septic tanks at some point, but I learned that you can't actually, there's a specific license in Ontario to install septic tanks. So as plumbers, we learn about it, but I don't think we're actually allowed to install them unless we have this license. So that's something that's really interesting. I was asked by one of my contractors. He goes, "Can you install wells? Or sorry, can you install septic tanks?" And I was like, "I think so." And then I looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, I guess not. We need a special license." That might be something cool to upgrade on. Somebody was asking an upgrade question, so that would be fun to be able to learn how to how to install wells or get a license. Not wells. Sorry, I keep saying wells. Septic tanks. All righty. We got about 2 more minutes. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button if you can. There's no backflow course in level 3. Oh, I've heard about that too, Devin. I've heard that they've taken out the backflow course in some of the colleges. Yeah, that's a bummer, dude. I'm sorry. The backflow course was what I did, was where I got certified as well. Damien, very new apprentice here. What's the best way to grade pipe that is being ran in the ground? So, Damien, you got to have your level on you. And some levels, you can actually have a level that tells you what kind of slope that you're putting on it. So, remember, the pipe comes down to its diameter, its size, and the minimum grade it's supposed to have. And then you just need a level. You throw that level on that shows you the grade, and it'll tell you exactly how much you need to either lift it up or push it down, sort of thing. Great question. Thanks for showing up, Damien. We have 1 minute left, peeps. Any last questions? Now's the time. If not, remember, I'll be here every weekend, every Saturday, 7 p.m. And we're going to be doing lessons, and I'm going to try to have multiple cameras if possible. We have a video coming out in literally 13 minutes. Okay. In 13 minutes, check out the YouTube channel. A new video is popping up. It's going to be about AI and plumbing. Oh, we got 12 thumbs up. I appreciate that. And it's going to be a conversation that I want to have with you at the beginning of next week, because it was definitely something that was a little bit shocking to me, and something that is going to potentially challenge all plumbers out there. Sometimes I have trouble with regular torpedo level if my slope is correct. Could you show us something how to determine that for new apprentices? I can look into that for sure. So yeah, the video coming out in 11 minutes. Okay, so I just want you guys to have your eyes out for that. If you could hit that thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Another thing, if you want to be on top of these lives, make sure you get to our newsletter. Check the links down below. Sign up for the newsletter. That way you know for sure if you're getting new content on the channel, on the academy, or if we're going live sort of thing. Okay, so I let you guys all know in the newsletter. If you guys need help with plumbing apprenticeship stuff, go on to molotovplumbingacademy.com. I got a couple of free courses. Well, I have one free course, which is a plumbing resume course. It takes you through how to build a trades resume. And then I have a plumbing math fundamentals course I'm still putting together right now. And then I have a plumbing math course that's for sale. And that takes you through all the math in your entire apprenticeship. And that's it. New video coming out 10 minutes. All right. I appreciate you. Love you guys. Thank you. I will see you next week. Devin and everybody, I thank you for all the ideas. I'm glad we have a good topic for next week. And much love, okay? Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Go spend time with your families and maybe grab some popcorn and watch that video. Ciao.